Have you heard of using plant hormones or enzymes through blending plant buds or seed sprouts as an organic fertilizer?
I haven't.
Okay. They say their plants love it.
Sure would.
I would like to ask Paul if he ever used conifers pine chips, and does that work?
That's mostly what I use because I live in the Northwest where all we have is conifers. There's a few maples and alders, but mostly conifers.
Does Paul have any suggestions for dealing with invasive grasses? We live in an area that has a lot of Bermuda grass and Johnson grass, and they spread by seeds and underground rhizomes. Am I saying that right? They also send out long runners that can live under newspaper and cardboard until the newspaper and cardboard decomposes, and then they shoot up through the wood chips. These grasses have taken over 2 attempts at a back to Eden garden faster than I could pull them up. I'm not sure how to move forward with my garden.
Well, I would just take on a smaller space and be diligent and get it all out. And once it's out, you win. But you're going to have to be really diligent because there's really, apart from chemically killing it, which would destroy your soil, there's no other way but hand removal.
Now, there was a spot in the old house that I lived at where I planted blueberry bush and some other things. And there, I just had a lot of newspaper, just whole sections that I laid down thicker, maybe even up to an inch thick, before I put down the wood chips just to make sure that everything there was gone. And then I would drill into it when I wanted to plant like the blueberry bush or the what was the other, any kind of plants or anything like that. Would a thicker layer of cardboard or newspaper?
What was your experience?
Well, I only lived there for maybe another 2 months after that, but yeah, nothing came through it. Absolutely nothing came through it.
Well, I think that's probably the reality.
Probably a good idea for him, so maybe do it thicker so it decomposes, I guess, slower, or
yeah, it's just gonna
nothing.
take a longer time.
Nothing's coming through that.
When things don't get light and air, they die. I mean, even if they're tenacious, without light and air, things are going to die. So.
How do I prune blackberries? I have 3 prolific thornless plants and will need to prune them, and I want the root cuttings. Oh, I want to root the cuttings. So how do you prune blackberries?
Well, just like you prune anything, you just, my blackberries that I have in swim just keep taking over, so I have to dig out. Actually, I have to, I'll get plenty of roots because they're in places I don't want them, so I'm always digging out and giving away to people. Now sometimes the canes will die off, so I always just cut those flat to the ground and stuff comes up, around them. But it's just simply, digging out and removing what you don't want.
Would you prune it kind of like you do your trees and just kind of an open?
This is we're talking about removal because she's talking about getting rid of the roots.
Mm-hmm.
So just dig it up. Just get your shovel and just dig up the stuff that's in your way and remove it, the root and all of it.
I think
it starts either for yourself or somebody else. You've got plants.
I think they wanted to take some of the cuttings, dip it into maybe rooting hormone, and then plant it in another spot as well.
Rooting hormone, I don't know about. The best rooting agent I found is willow bark. You ever notice willow trees? You can stick them anywhere in the ground and they root. So skin the bark off, bring your water to almost a boil, let it sit and make a tea, and use that. And the stuff roots great. It's phenomenal.
Cool. And you want to let that tea cool, or do it when it's hot?
Okay. And you don't want the water boiling because you'll kill it, so just bring it almost to a boil, but let it sit in there and really steep. And that's been an amazing rooting agent. It really helps.
Wow. That's cool.
Because if you think about it, when the willow is laying on the ground, the roots are coming off the bark. So it's obviously very, very, open to creating root systems.
I'm gonna have to try that. What is the best time to graft into an apple tree?
When the sap comes in and begins the buds to open, because the sap's in.
How did the reflective metal do with your tomatoes growing near the chicken pen?
Well, really well.
In fact, we saw some today.
And the reason is that you see on the north side of the plant, it gets no sun, no heat. So when it hits that metal, it reflects to the north side all this heat. So you're getting this major input you never would otherwise.
So now you're able to grow tomatoes up here instead of down.
So nice because they're right here, you know, and it's just convenient.
And they were really sweet too.
I thought that was really significant. Oh, this on this that guy, that organic farmer.
Mm-hmm.
I have tomatoes; they're good, and he just kept going back. Like that was like a revelation to him. Like, wow.
Yeah, because at first he was like, "Oh, you should try these tomatoes. You should try these tomatoes," and handing them off to people. And then he had one in his hand, and he bit into it, and he was like, "Oh, wow, that's amazing! I mean, I grow tomatoes, and I already know what they taste like, but
He's
this
an organic
is."
farmer, so he thought that what he was doing was good. I think it was really significant revelation. Like, wow, there's a whole other realm out there.
Yeah, he just kept popping them.
Yeah, because it's revelation, man. It's like, this is real.
Okay. This one I've gotten a few different times. There's a couple of these questions that a lot of people ask me. I need to know his planting schedule. He has stated that in his garden, it is very organized because he doesn't go to the store for his food. I need to know when to plant and what can be grown, namely winter gardens in the Northwest. I would like to rely more on what I grow. He did mention that he had carrots left from the winter. What other things grow well in the winter and fall? The back of the seed packs are not helpful at all. Everything says plant in the spring after first frost.
Well, in the wintertime, like you said, that broccoli I have out there, that was planted in April because it's such an amazing cultivar. It's going to go all the way till Christmas or it freezes, kind of thing. But for winter, and I used to plant like in June, but now because things go so fast, I'm planting in August. But I plant, I have romaine lettuce, I have, cilantro, carrots, beets. Sometimes I do rutabagas or turnips. So all your root vegetables will stay in the ground all winter and feed you. As well as for greens, kale. Now, I plant the kale in April, so come winter it's full size, so I'm getting a huge abundance off of it, so I have a lot to pick from. And I like that because I feed my kale to my chickens as well as myself because it's really good food for the chickens. But like that romaine lettuce, that's beautiful out there, and then depending on the weather, it can go as late as January, but until it really freezes hard. And what's nice about it now is that because it's not hot, it's going to stay nice. It's not going to continue to get really out of hand. And so, like I said, I have to keep adjusting my time frame because my ground's getting better, and so things grow faster. And so what used to be my June planting for fall now has become August because things happen quite quickly.
I know that you said that after, I want to say September 1st.
September 1st is the last you can plant, like things like spinach, lettuce, arugula, cilantro. That's the last date you can plant to get any size.
Okay. Will potatoes grow in a tropical climate if planted in a back-to-Eden garden?
I don't live in one, so I don't know, but I would sure try it.
Yeah, it's the worst thing that's going to happen. It doesn't work.
One thing for sure, you can do sweet potatoes. They'll love it. Yams, sweet potatoes, they love hot climate.
Does Paul plant tomato seeds instead of plants, and if he does, when?
Because where I live in such a short growing season, the seeds wouldn't make it. But in my garden where I plant tomatoes, I have tons of seedlings coming up. Tomatoes that fell there last year, so they grow well. It's just to get tomatoes here, because of the short growing season, you got to get an early start.
If you were in a climate, well, I guess like I am, over on Eastern Washington, where it would grow, would you rather grow from seed instead of starts?
No matter where I lived, I would always grow from seed if I had the option, because seed is so much more. You see, the starts you get, unless you're doing them yourself, are really weak. They're not well, and so they never do well. And so it's ideal. And again, I look at the Creator. He just starts everything from seed.
Does Paul grow any perennial vegetables? purple tree collards, sunchokes, etc. Why or why not?
Perennial, like
It'll keep growing every year.
yeah. I'm just trying to think what I have that is. I don't know. If I do collars, but they're not perennial. Because they go to seed.
Right.
What is?
Well, do you grow sunchokes?
No.
Like, okay. Do you grow tree collards? Purple tree collards?
No.
Okay. Is there a reason why you don't?
I just don't know about them.
Okay. That works. I would think that, because I was thinking of all these answers ahead of time, and I was thinking that you like a variety, and having something take the spot forever might limit more of what you can grow. Like if you had corn that was always right there forever, you kind of, well, I want that space for something else, because I know you pull stuff once you're done with it.
I got my blueberries and my trees there forever, so I'm used to that. And many of what I'm coming to now is that I'm giving so much of my seed away because I'm coming to the reality that there's no way possible I can have all these varieties. And I'm really fine-tuning what I grow because it's impossible to get all that lettuce out there. I'm going to give my chickens. I'm not going to even use it. So I'm thinking like, this isn't working. I can't use it. So I'm really fine-tuning to what I'm growing. And I went through my seed stuff and I just gave tons of seed to my chickens because I'm not going to plant those anymore.
Don't tell that to the people, because they constantly ask me if you're able to give out seed again, because I told them no. Now you're feeding it to your chickens.
But I'm just saying that I'm coming to the reality. I have to be real. And I look at that whole row of black seed of Simpson lettuce. I didn't use any of it. I'm thinking like, I just have to get more realistic because I can't possibly use all this. And so I've got to fine tune to what I really care about. And like I want these people. Jericho romaine lettuce that grows in Israel is amazing. It takes incredible heat. It really grows quickly, and you saw that guy out there eating. Man, he couldn't stop. It's really delicious. It's an amazing romaine lettuce. And that cucumber that I gave you, that's from Israel. And I'm finding that the Israelis, when they do stuff, it's usually good. And there's a reason for that. And so I'm really blessed with these items I'm getting from Israel because they're really awesome quality stuff.
Would you be interested in receiving seeds from, say, my subscribers and different kinds of varieties that maybe you don't have currently?
Again, back to where I just came from, because I have so much and I'm really reducing what I'm doing. Thank you, but I don't think I'd use it.
All right, well, you guys can send them to me, and right below there in the comments is my address.